I think we've crusaded against this for the last 12, 15 years. There's no doubt about it. But nevertheless, I think that every time we get somebody here, we say something to the young men and young women about education and whatever. But one of the things I often hit up on when I speak to this, dealing with young people, is that it's a tremendous privilege that we enjoy being able to receive this education. You know, when you've got a situation and people might talk about increased tuition and et cetera, but if you look at some of the peers of some of these young men in other countries, in countries that are not as fortunate as the United States, they would do anything if they had an opportunity to get any kind of education when they are going to school on the outside with blackboards under trees and et cetera. So we just don't seem to understand that.
And these kids, it's all there. I mean, just think what it would have been like in the 60s if we'd had a computer.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Or if we could text, or a cell phone.
It really would have opened things up.
Oh, with the mentality that we had then. These youngsters would be, I don't know, light years ahead of what they are now, simply because of what we would have had.
And so it's real determined. Well, what about this idea of mentoring? I mean, we talk about the need for mentors and et cetera. What do the two of you think about that?
I think it's something that we need to take a little more seriously.
Good.
Even though it can be a risky business, I think the potential for gain is worth the risk, because we know the statistics about young black youth today, and we just can do better as far as mentoring is concerned. And I think what needs to happen is some of these organizations, some of your social clubs, fraternities, sororities, churches, if they would get behind a mentoring program so that those who participated would know that the proper safeguards are in place, I think that mentoring could be expanded much further than it is. It's not always a case of throwing money to a problem, but if you could just have positive role models, interact with some of these kids, some of these young men especially who have no father figure to look up to, it would go a long way to letting a young African-American male know what it takes to be a man. Because the models they look at nowadays are not good role models for being a man.
They're not.
We don't want youngsters to model themselves after the dope dealer, for example.
Okay, good.
So we've got to have some of these men out here who are responsible, sacrifice some time and spend time taking the youngsters to the baseball game or go fishing or just whatever kind of situation would work.
Rip, we've got about 1 minute and 20 seconds before we end the show for today. Some final comments.
Just about the mentoring. I just had an experience today where a young man invited me to his school, second grader invited me to his school, and he said, I want you to come to my show and tell. And I thought I was just going to be a guest at his show and tell. Didn't know what he was going to talk about. I was the show. I ended up being the show. And as a young man that I'm a part of, as the old Africans say, it takes a village. And I'm just a part of a village in his life. And of course, that when I see young men in church, I'm always questioning them about their school work, about their clothes and all that. And they know when they see me, you know, about the ties and those who wear ties. And you know, I don't want them sagging pants. But.
As a final statement, a lady called me the other day and said that she had a young man that she knew that she wanted me to talk to, and et cetera. So people are aware of that, and I think that plays a very, very important part. And let me thank the two of you, as well as the others that we talked to, dealing with this 50th anniversary celebration. And it's strange that it was 50 years ago. You know, it makes the two of you seem old, I would imagine, having participated in it. Okay, but let me thank the two of you for coming by. Let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you, and good night.